What can I say? I'm an artist, or maybe I think I am, but maybe I'm not. And my specialty has been engraving in wood and linoleum. I did my first exhibition in Perpignan, France, in February 1976. And I needed to have a poster to advertise my exhibition. At the time, there was no way to do it differently. There was no internet. So the only way to do it was to have something printed on a paper, and then you could paste it in places in the town, you know, like restaurants. As I didn't know how to proceed, I decided to do it myself. And I experiment with a piece of wood. I did a self-portrait, and then I experiment with a type. I write my name, and so then I printed that with a device that was a bookbinding press. So it came out not excellent, but it did the purpose. And then I experiment with 2 or 3 other engravings, and I display very proudly all my paintings. And when the critic from the newspaper came, he looked at the exhibition, and the next day I saw in the paper that he says, "Oh, well, interesting exhibition, colors like Matisse, blah, blah, blah." But there is some interesting engravings that are worth looking at. And I was really offended, you know. I was very upset about that. What I was trying to do with engraving was for me just something to help me out, not something that I wanted to express myself with. Now I understand that the guy had a good eye. You know, people know me for that, let's say. Well, the only member of the family that used wood was my grandfather. He was cutting wood, he was cutting trees. He was going on a forest in the Pyrenees, having a business on cutting, you know, big lots of trees, you know. You know, I started 3 years ago to work on the tablet. So I think that it doesn't truly matter as long as you can use something. But what was very interesting for me retrospectively is that at the same time I landed in New York, the 3 cosmonauts landed on the moon. The reason why I wanted to come here was a little bit naive. First of all, I was brainwashed at this business school in France that was glorifying the economical model of the time. I arrived at a period where a lot of things were happening in New York and America, and one thing that I find out a little bit later on was the Vietnam War and how much it impacted the people, and especially the young people. I mean, the people of the generation, the same generation than me at the time. You know. I think the market is created by not the artist, it's created by the merchant. Maybe there is something else that might be okay, but they're not going to get it because they know it won't sell. See? So there is already, the merchant will sell what he feels he can sell. Or maybe he can take a risk, saying, oh, this might sell, or I can present it, maybe I don't lose anything trying to sell it. It's not philanthropic. It's not because he loves the artist or he thinks he's a nice guy, you know. But there is some people, they are merchants, but they understand the arts. The market is by definition biased. I don't know how to price. For me, it's a mystery. Suppose that you are exhibiting in a gallery in a village someplace, and the rent is not too expensive for the gallery, or the expenses to cover are not too much. and the public will not spend that much. So the price is going to be accordingly. Now, if you are in New York and you have a gallery, I don't know what is the price of the rent of a gallery. The gallery, by necessity, has to ask for a price that is quite high. So I think that's, if you buy a painting, you also, what you do, you pay the gallery's rent and the gallery's utility, the gallery's expenses, and then some margin of benefit for the gallery. Certainly there is one or two or more dominant galleries, but these dominant galleries, what do they show? What do they sell? You know, artists have complained that the gallery, the market was manipulated. It was manipulated by several factors. It was the gallery, an art critic, and a museum, and a collector. So the idea was that a guy that is known as a collector will buy one or two pieces or many pieces of a guy. An art critic will write about it. A gallery will show something or make exhibition. The prices will go up. And then after that, at one moment, the guy, the collector, will sell the artist, you know, almost everything. And that might kill the artist. If you don't have the experience of life with what life has brought to you, with the good and the bad and the ugly, I think that it's not carried into it. I don't find the value to that. I saw an exhibition of Modigliani in Italy. You could see there was some really good, strong elements, but there was some that they were not. Like, for example, you had the sense of the body of a woman, of the flesh, you know, the volume, the sexuality. But when he tried to include the face, I mean, it was just something like sketchy, almost like I would call a cartoon. And so there is no integration. You know, I think his head should be also as strong as the rest of the part of the body. You know, it's like maybe you are able to do a feet, but you cannot do the legs. So that's a sadness, because Modigliani and his life ended young, and when you see that, you could feel that if he had been lucky to live 30, 40 more years, his work might have totally exploded. You know, he could have become one of the majors. You know, I made myself, good or bad, in New York. New York shaped me. New York made me who I am. Or at least you have the belief that you have the possibility to do something. And then there is another thing. Once you are here, you have no other option than react to situations and just, you know, to survive. Most of my adult life I have spent in East Village. I have spent also in Tribeca or near the Hudson River. One moment I got a real interest for the architecture, which is more the industrial-like architecture, like the bridges. You know. For the moment, my ambition was to continue engraving on wood, and I engrave on site. I am an engraver in a very with the least material I can, the more flexible and the most portable, meaning that I can go everywhere in the world with it, which is a piece of wood and a cutter. And that's what I like with the cutting, is that physically with your hand there is a pressure, there is a resistance to the material, there is a sort of organic fight, which you don't have with the tablet. The engraving, that's the thing that you want to last. You don't want it erased, you know, regardless of the time. The only thing that I hope is to be in sufficient health, not to be a burden for others. Yes, to keep as long as possible to be healthy, but not on a selfish way, on a way that I can create and also to be there for the people, the communities, and also for my friends.
What's your impressions?
It's the same and it's different from the same time. But well, it's like I left last night. You know.
No regrets?
No, you should not have any regrets. Because if you regret, you don't grow.